Sounds good.
All right.
Pardon Instagram story. Experts really don't be experts.
Is that what he said?
Big Cat retweeted it and said, "Damn, really makes you think." Look at his Instagram. They're clowns.
The Sixers?
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of bums.
Yeah, experts really don't be experts in like really small text. Not sure what that means.
All right, you getting it on the Instagram? I'm gonna get it on the Twitter. Yeah, I was getting dinner. Well, I was out with my friend Owen. We were on a boat. I didn't think it would take so long. Then we met up with my friend Thomas. We went to dinner, and it took forever.
Where'd you go?
Donnelly's Dockside. It's right in Cape. It's literally like
Oh,
5 minutes from my house. I just need to get the boat ride over afterwards, and
Right.
it's taking forever.
Saw you reading a book earlier.
Yeah, the book of basketball.
I noticed that. I was like, what is he reading? Is that just like
It's Bill Simmons.
stories from it for the years, or?
Yeah, it's just like it goes through like the history of like how we got to like the today's NBA, and then I'm pretty
Gotcha.
sure later it goes into like his top. Right now, I'm at the top 35 or 33 in descending order. What ifs of the NBA?
Top 33?
Yes, 33 in
So
descending
funny.
order. He has like a thing. It's like his top players, and it's like the pyramid. As some way to explain it, but yeah, I'm excited to keep reading it. I got it last semester or last summer, and I barely read it over the school year. I read like maybe 10 pages.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So this summer I want to get to it. All right, you ready? All right, let's get started. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
What you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, Chris. Your finals, they coming up close, or you're studying today? What's going on?
Last one tomorrow.
All right. Nice. The home
Then
stretch.
we're all set. That's right.
That's pretty sweet.
Tomorrow, I've been mentally checked out already.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's
What's
like
it been
basically all
in?
day today.
I saw you at the pool. You were like, "Oh, I gotta study all day," and then on the story, it's like you chilling at the pool. I'm like, oh, "Okay."
Study break.
Yeah. Study break at the pool for a little bit.
I had an exam at 8 a.m. Then I went to the pool. Me.
That's fair. The early morning exam really exhausts you for the rest of the day. You don't want to do like any studying afterwards.
Oh no, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And I haven't had an 8 a.m. class my whole time at college. I never had to get up that early.
But you had to get an exam?
Finals come around.
Why does that work? If I have like the closest I'll get is if it's a 9:40, they'll make it a 9:30 exam.
There's some sort of scheduling system, like every class at a certain time gets the same exam slot.
Yeah.
Exam slot is different than your class time.
Yeah, that's what we have too. But it's not that drastic. That's pretty wild. What was the normal class?
It was 11 to 12.
Oh, and they made you go at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, and my one tomorrow is a 2 o'clock class, and it's at 10:30.
That's blasphemy. That's completely screwing up the whole schedule. Your whole rhythm.
Well, I don't know where they stick like the 8 a.m. The kids that have 8 a.m.s.
Who knows? They probably get blessed and have to go down to.
They probably have like a 4 o'clock exam.
Which kind of, I gotta admit though, I would rather have a test. The minimum is like I'd want it to start by at least 1.
Yeah, I think
if it's later
like
than 1,
noon or
like
before.
Yeah.
If I can get up, eat breakfast, and go straight to the exam, that's good with me. I don't want any time in between.
No, none at all. Unless there's an exam beforehand, of course. But besides that. All
Yeah,
right.
that's one thing I've gotten lucky with is not having 2 in one day.
No, that's nice. 2 in one day is like a death sentence. You're sitting there like,
It's
which
a
one do I?
Texas,
You're like, which one do I study for? You just gotta
right?
hope that you finish the first one early enough that you can recap the next one
Right. At
afterwards.
least just look at your notes.
Yeah. So it's a pain in the ass. I had my first time this semester had to take 2 finals one day. Awful.
That's war.
It is. It really is. You're up the whole next week. Like, well, I got to be prepared not for one exam, but for 2.
Right.
All
I'm
right,
lucky I haven't had that.
we have a lot more to talk about, more than just exams. Nobody cares about exams. That's all right. Some people do care about is the NBA draft lottery. It happened today. The Wemby sweepstakes are finally over. All that hard work of tanking has come to an end, and the winner of the Wemby sweepstakes is the San Antonio Spurs. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't predict it, but I said it would be cool if the Spurs got now, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Victor Wembanyama.
It's not fair.
It isn't.
It's not fair at
We're just
all.
lucky. We're lucky that the Cavs didn't have a 1% chance because they would have won. If the Cavs were there, it would have
Yeah, but
been.
the Cavs didn't really turn it into anything. Like
Yeah, they had Anthony
Bennett thing was
Bennett.
awful. Like Irving, yeah, they ended up winning a championship, but they only
Well,
won that
and they
because
got
LeBron came back.
they got Wiggins though, the number 1 pick that season, and traded to Minnesota for
So they've
Kevin
had,
Love.
I forgot about that. So
Yeah, they've had
4
3.
number 1 picks.
3 or
It's
4.
LeBron.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
So we're lucky enough
mean-
that they're not in the lottery.
That is true. And the Pelicans was giving me hope. They were talking about it before the drawing took place, and they're like, they panned to the Pelicans guy. They're like, he was here when the Pelicans won Zion sweepstakes with only a 7% chance, and I was like, oh, could you imagine?
Well,
Somehow
7%. I'm wearing my Wizards sweatshirt today. I was ready. Today was the day. Wemby to DC. The karma of the Washington Wizards just sucking for so many years finally coming to an end. But in classic Wizards fashion, they got exactly the pick they were projected to get, and they got number 8.
Yeah, I mean I think that's like the highest pick that they've had since Otto Porter when they took him at 3. But spend like 8, 9, and 10 on just like rotating year to year.
So I know
between 2 picks.
Like I know the top 3, and I know about Gigi Jackson. But other than that, like that's about it. So it has the Wizards at 8 taking Arsar Thompson, some guy from Overtime Elite.
He was one of the twins, I think.
He was. Amen and Arsan. And the website I'm looking at right now, it says their position is shooting guard. They are definitely like a center. They're like 6'7" and definitely not a shooting guard. But I don't know enough about the kids. I know Overtime Elite is not anything I would trust, and I know this is just a mock draft.
What is it?
But it's so Overtime Elite is this Overtime, the Instagram company, like the Instagram account.
Hmm?
They made like an alternative to high school where they're paying these kids. They're going there to
so like the
train.
G League, but
yeah, exactly
from NBA.
So Arsa and Amen, they're like 20 years old though, and they're playing against like 17, 18-year-olds. So it's hard to tell how good they actually are. This is just a mock draft, but that's the type of guy that Grady Dick from Kansas, Anthony Black.
Grady Dick is so funny.
Knicks.
I've seen Anthony Black.
It has
rejected a couple times.
The one that I'm looking at right now, NBA Draft.net, that has the updated order. It has Orlando taking Gigi Jackson at 11, and that's pretty high from what I'm getting at.
I don't know about that.
We did move right past the Spurs, and we should go back to them real quick. They're now getting Wembanyama. They still have the great head coach.
He's getting too old.
You think he's retiring?
Definitely a little.
Yeah,
surly.
great. All right. By the way, Greg Popovich. I forgot his name. Greg Popovich. He's out there. He's 74 years old. And he talked about all year how the Spurs were not going to win the championship, but he wasn't going to tank. And it ended up they got the first pick anyways. So they had a completely pretty much wasted roster where everyone was expendable, everyone was ready to
Couldn't
replace.
even name like who was on that team.
It had the guy that was in he was in the Olympics. God, no, I'm it's really bad. I really
I remember
don't know.
just like going
Jeremy
through on like one
Sohan,
of our
Trey Jones.
NBA updates throughout this season.
Yeah, and we were
We were
like, the
looking at the
Spurs are there.
standings, and they had lost like 15 in a row. You'd look at the games, and they were just getting like mauled every
Keldon
night.
Johnson, that's who I was thinking of. But no, they got a
Okay.
bunch of bums on their team. Devontae Graham,
Graham's
Malachi
good for a little bit.
Branham, Doug McDermott. They got Dougie, Devin Vassell, who's all right. Zach Collins, who's pretty buns. Trey Jones, who's all right. I mean, they got some role players, but that's literally about it. So now you throw Wemby in there. He's the center of the team. He will be, and now if you keep Popovich for a couple years, he gets to learn under Pop. Gets to spread the culture for a little bit more. They hire some Pop assistant. I don't know. Maybe the Spurs revamp themselves.
Yeah, I mean that's the expectation. Like when you get, they're comparing him. They're saying he's like the best prospect since Bron.
LeBron, yeah.
Just what
And
they said about Zion.
so here's the thing.
Qualify that.
Zion we saw get injured big time during the NCAA season. We have not seen Wemby get injured. From what I believe, I have
He
not
played
seen.
every game
Okay, he did?
season. Yeah, they said that on the lottery show, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, so 7-2.
Production that the lottery show turns into.
Oh, the lottery show is just an app. Like I saw your tweet about it, and I completely agree. Why the hell are the prospects there? They're not getting picked that day.
Well, that's why I knew about the Twins. The Twins were like in the building and they were interviewing them.
Why?
Game and stuff. And I was like, I don't know what the point of this is. It's like Wemby. It's one thing because he knows whoever gets the first pick, that's where he's going.
Yeah.
Every single other player does not know.
No,
you now
and maybe you bring in
a
Scoot
group
Henderson.
Of 3 or 4 teams maybe that you think.
Maybe you bring in Scoot. Maybe you bring in Brandon Miller. Like those guys are supposed to go 2 and 3.
Even them, like they could go 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, I completely agree. It doesn't make any sense. I saw the Twins there on the TV when I was at dinner, and I was like, "What are they doing here?" Like, and props to them. The NFL gets this whole. They get a schedule release show. They get a draft show for 2 days. They get every show you could possibly imagine. So why not the NBA try to put on a production to
I
get a
guess.
lot
I
of
mean,
show?
people are watching it.
Yeah, and I remember, speaking of the Zion draft, I remember we were in, my dad and I were getting groceries. It was a random Tuesday night. And I go, look at him, I go, hey, Pelicans got Zion. Like, they got the number 1 pick. He goes, oh, is the draft today? Like, did I completely miss it? Like, no, sorry. It's just the lottery. The lottery's coming out today, and they're projected to take Zion. Sorry about that.
It is. I think it's more ridiculous than the schedule release show.
Yeah,
At least, I mean, the schedule
ridiculous.
release is ridiculous. But I mean, we talked for 45 minutes about the schedule.
Well, here we are about to talk about the stupid draft.
Oh no, we're cutting this. We haven't done our research on this.
All right, you're right. We haven't done too much research, but we can talk about the top 3 picks at least. The Charlotte Hornets get second. They have Miles Bridges. They're bringing him back. Is this a perfect Brandon Miller? Let's get all the criminals in here.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, you should.
Can they trade for Zion or Ja? Can they trade for Ja? Get all of them.
Oh, we need to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about Brandon Miller on the show, and Woj, I don't know who Brandon Miller's agent is, but he must have paid him a hefty sum and then some. And he was like, not only are teams not really concerned with the character of Brandon Miller and the off-court stuff, but they actually view his character and leadership as an asset. What are they talking about?
No. That's
I mean,
brutal.
are we serious? Like, just say that they're not worried about it.
Yeah, you don't need to say it's an asset.
Let's not hype up this guy's character when he was an accessory to murder.
God. he'd fit
Couldn't
perfect with
believe it when I
Charlotte.
heard that.
Scoot doesn't make much sense. You already got LaMelo there. Maybe they could trade down to a desperate team, but get Brandon Miller. There you go. Get the killers out there. Get a
Yeah,
team
that's
full of killers. Actually though, they can either go Scoot, they can go Brandon Miller. They have their options there for depending on what they want to do. And the Trailblazers, is this a trade piece for the Trailblazers?
I don't know. I feel like somebody like Miller could fit right in with him.
And I would say the same thing, but Dame has come out and been like, "Oh, like we don't need these rebuilding guys. We don't need these rookie guys. Like I just want to win a championship." And he's never going to win in Portland. Like let's be honest here. Unless they trade for Kevin Durant or something, there's no way. And I could see this being, whoever falls, you just take it, and then maybe you trade the asset later. You trade, uh, you trade some future picks later. Try to work with that guy. Try to trade stuff around you. But they're gonna go through a whole makeover this offseason, and it's gonna be interesting to see who falls to them and if they keep this pick or not.
I guess out of the top, really the whole top 10, like this is the one that's like the Cardinals pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very likely to get traded.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What we'll have to see what stars are on the block too.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Once these playoffs are over, like we're already starting the Harden talk. We're already starting about what if Joel Embiid doesn't like who the new Sixers coach is. We're already talking about a bunch of stuff. So some star is going to be open to want to trade, and the third overall pick is going to look whether it does get traded or not. The rumors surrounding the NBA says these are going to be thrown in some rumors somewhere. Some guy's going to get traded for him.
Yeah, definitely.
So we both felt bad for the Detroit Pistons. The worst record in the league. Terrible year. Cade Cunningham down. And they fall to the 5th pick. It seems like it's a top 3 draft. Doesn't seem like there's many surefire picks past that. And just for it to land at 5 is pretty brutal for the Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you are other than like playing about the lottery because you're tied for the best chance to get it. It felt like a lock to be top 3, and that's why the lottery does suck sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I think
actually, like they're not doing anything wrong. They literally just suck.
They're trying
to build up.
Cade Cunningham got injured, so it's like they really couldn't do much. But I agree. It's the lottery gives and lottery takes. They got their first overall pick. They got Cade Cunningham 2 years ago at this point. So they should be fine. If you're a Detroit fan, like you can't be that mad. But it does suck that you tank the whole year. You have such a terrible year, and it doesn't turn out well. They got, and I guess last year in this pick, they got the same pick, right? And they got Jaden Ivey that seemed like could have been a top 3 pick.
Yeah, that's true.
So you never know. You never know who falls, and you never know what can happen. But at this moment, it does seem like an L for them. Do you want to talk Wizards? What do you expect out of the 8th pick? We already kind of went over it, but
I don't care.
Yeah,
I wanted Wemby.
Yeah. Every year,
unless it turns into like, dude, it sucks. It really does suck.
Well, if
I
only
don't know if you saw
they
my
just
tweet earlier, but like I'm just desperate to care.
And like even a top 3 pick. Even a top 3 pick, you would have been like, all right, at least I'm on board.
Even like top 5 is something.
Every single year, it's the same conversation. Why don't they just tank if they're not going to be good? And then they end up with the 8th pick every single year. Or the 8th or the 9th or the 10th every year.
So competent. So stubborn.
And they're going to keep Bradley Beal this year. And they're going to do the same goddamn thing. They're going to have no changes.
Yeah. So last year, Johnny Davis at 10. Or Kispert at 15. At 9.
Let's get Gigi Jackson
at 9. Or Brown. I don't like Gigi. He's a powder.
Let's get Gigi at 8. The mock that I was looking at that had him go to 11th is pretty ridiculous. So there's no way he's going 8. I don't think he's going 11th.
I don't think so.
I think he's going like 20th. Pacers at 26. There you go.
Like
You can start for him.
Draft pick in a long time.
Yeah, you guys need some.
Jordan Clarkson in the second round, I guess, was a good pick. Beal at 3. Was 11 years ago.
Yeah, and you're hanging out.
It worked out. It's just not working out now.
You're hanging on the pass. That pass, though, like, come on. Number 3 pick. You haven't had that top pick since then.
No. It's like, I'm looking back at, like, and none of their picks work. And when they do get top picks.
All right, let's not be so down yet. They haven't picked anyone. Let's not be so disappointed yet.
That played a 10 pick this year, last 20 games of the season.
Hey, and he did decent in the last 20 games.
He actually did.
Did do decent. All right. Last, I guess Houston 4 seems like kind of where they were slotted to be. Other than that, no other real surprise. I mean, Oklahoma City, there was some people like, oh, they should get the 1 pick, and they were too close to the playoffs. They didn't deserve the 1 pick at all.
Yeah, we thought that they were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, sort of that. Yeah. We definitely did that because they're a good team. They don't need they could be a GG team that could use them on the bench. I'm trying to find any spot for him here. I just want him to start. Like, let's get him some valuable minutes on a good team. I don't want him on, like, I don't know, say the Houston gets another first round pick. Like, I don't want him on that. I don't want him on Houston. Let's get him on a good team.
That'd be a good spot for him, I think.
Yeah, I like OKC. Maybe Raptors. He seems like a Raptors type of guy. Lanky.
Could be a Raptor.
Yeah, he could definitely be a Raptor. Whatever matters. On draft day, I'm getting the DH gate version of his jersey, so it's fine. We'll get it.
I was ready to order my Wemby jersey tonight.
Oh, I was ready too.
So ready.
I'm telling you, I'm so disappointed at the Wizards. Still, they can never get that luck, and they just need to stop playing with the luck and start playing with the odds and start tanking. But
I'm desperate for a tank.
All right, let's move on to some playoff games, some real basketball that's happening right now, not projections. We have the Boston Celtics taking down the 76ers in 7 in a blowout. An absolute blowout.
Joke.
Yeah, choke. Do you want
total joke?
You want me to take over? Say, like, go me first.
Yeah, you say it's your team. You say your piece first.
We've been waiting for this Jason Tatum game. I mean, we've been saying game after game, starting from the finals last year, like, hey, why can't this guy step up when it matters? Why can't this guy put the team on his back and show him who's boss and prove that he's the best player on the court? Even in that Atlanta series, it was game 5 and 6, or I guess 6 they took care of business, but game 5, why is that happening? Why is that getting allowed to happen on your home court? Here they come against the MVP and James Harden, Jason Tatum's best player on the court, scored 51, and it seemed like he could have gone for 65 if the game was close. It seemed like he could have gone for 70 if he wanted to. Every shot he wanted was going in. He was getting people around him better. He's getting 13 rebounds. Jaylen Brown doing his thing as well. Malcolm Brogdon. The whole team. They accumulated when they saw Tatum cooking was just, hey, let's let him cook. Let's let him get what he wants to do. And they really played like a team for the first time. And game 6, they played like a team as well. But besides those 2 games, for the first time in a while, where everything was kicking, and Tatum really seemed like he could carry this team to a finals again.
Maybe all they needed was their backs against the wall.
And how many times, how many times did I come on this podcast and say, how many wake-up calls do you need? And maybe you're right. Yeah. Maybe this is the one. Like, they go up against, as an MVP, James Harden. All these Sixers fans are pumping out their chest. Like, we have the series tied or ready to go at game 6. They take it at game 6, back against the wall, 4th quarter. Did we talk about that? That spectacular 4th quarter of Jason Tatum outscoring this.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Friday.
Good. And then, yeah, because that was on Thursday. And then Sunday, keeps the momentum up, scores 51. I mean, if that's happening, uh, Joel Embiid and James Harden can't combine for 24. Just can't happen.
I mean, it's fascinating, really.
It's like a case study
because it is
of
a
just
case study.
the
It
art
should
of the
be.
choke. The art of the choke.
No, like just not showing up in big games. It's been so many times. I mean, this is the worst way to have it because you won game 5 on the road. Like you won game 1 on the road and it already felt a little bit different. Then you go up 3-2. And I know for a fact that every Sixer fan in the country knew in their head that they were going to win the series. They were so confident.
Yeah,
Because
after
that
game
was the
5.
night that everything changed. Like, you came into Boston and team that's owned you for the last, I don't know, ever, and you kicked their ass finally in their place. Like, you're definitely feeling like this is the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go to game 6. It's neck and neck game the whole way, and then you collapse in the last 5 minutes. And then this one, tight game at halftime, down in the third quarter.
And
your best 2
like
players were horrendous.
in an absolute meltdown, like to the degree of like Harden by 5 minutes of the third quarter checked out. He was ready. I don't know if he was ready for Houston, ready for another strip club in Vegas. He was not there. He was not on the court in Boston. And Embiid, just you're supposed to be the MVP, Embiid. You can't, like, you're the third highest scoring on your team and you have 15.
He's a fraud.
He is. And
like that's
this has
the
been
main takeaway that I feel like you have to have from this game.
This has been the culmination of both of their careers, James Harden and Joel Embiid, just in a perfect like symphony. Like they planned this to display to the world, like, hey, we will never make it past the second round as the Sixers. we will never do it. It doesn't matter what the team looks like, how star powered the team is, and it doesn't matter if I win the MVP or not. I'm just not going to make it past the second round. And I know James Harden has been
with superstars before. We've talked about Giannis and Jokic. Both those guys have broken through. Obviously, the Knicks haven't won anything yet, but they've at least got past the second round. Like even Ovechkin in hockey, and eventually these guys win. But they're just not winners.
Mm-hmm. No,
They're
not. They're not. And I'd like to say 2 years ago or last year, whenever they decided to team up, the immediate reaction was, great, let's add not clutch player Joel Embiid with an even worse playoff clutch player, James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a story like people were too scared to tell. They were like, this is been written too much. Like, this is the year. Like, this is the time that they're finally going to get past. And same story. Same story gets told every year. How are the Sixers going to blow it?
Yeah, I mean, like I can't help but feel bad for them, honestly.
Oh, I mean, I don't feel bad at them
all. No, that you don't at all.
Not whatsoever. I get why you feel bad. Like, and if Embiid was not on the 76ers and Embiid was on some random West Coast team or some bum team that I didn't care about, but he was this caliber of player, I would indeed feel bad for him. But because he's on the 76ers, who we play in the playoffs every other year, it is hilarious. Yeah. It's just a big, fat joke. That's what he is. He's a bumbling
joke.
He's a bumbling joke. And when the thing is, when he looks bad, he looks horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
It looks like he's never touched a basketball.
No. Like when he
can't. Either that or they just like can't get him the ball at all.
No, they either lose complete game plan or every time he touches the ball, he fumbles it around. Or on defense, like on defense, this game he was on Tatum 50% of the time, and on 3-pointers let him like how are you gonna let a guy who's like 3 inches smaller than you shoot over you so easily? Like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
But team effort,
He
love to
should
see it.
have his MVP stripped.
It's really bad. Like, and it hasn't been this bad in a while. Like Jokic the past 2 years, he's made it to the Western
He's
Conference
like
Finals.
doing his best.
Yeah, exactly. He goes down with a fight. This is just pitiful. And for all those years of like, it doesn't matter if they choke in the playoffs, like just best regular season guy. This is why we care about who chokes in the playoffs. Because it's embarrassing when the league MVP is getting blown out in a game 7 in round 2. And would we be having the same conversations if they lost by 6? I don't know. But if Embiid had 30, if Embiid had 45, then and they lost by 6, then it would have been a completely different story. We'd be having just a great conversation about Boston, which is what we should be having, but this collapse is just tremendous over it.
Yeah, I mean, just like the way that they've lost the last 6 years, it looks like you get wrecked by the Celtics twice in 5 and get swept. You have that Raptors game, the bouncing Kawhi shot, and you have the year where it finally looks like the path is open. The Hawks in the second round, you lose Game 7 at home. I thought that it could get no worse than that, because that was the game where like you first started to believe the process was dead.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the process was sick then.
Process in a coffin now.
Took it out back and they shot.
Yeah, it's in the. It's looking at the grass. It's looking at the flowers.
Yeah.
Looking down. The other thing is that you didn't think it would get worse. You thought Ben Simmons just like what a pussy. He's passing up shots against the Hawks, and then this game, you look at James Harden and you're like, holy shit, he's doing the same thing. You're like, God damn, he can't shoot
like
a shot
Spider-Man
anyways.
meme.
Yeah, they're pointing at each other like who choked worse, and he was so bad. He had 5 turnovers by I think the third, like by the end of the third quarter. It was horrendous. It almost, as you said, it almost felt bad. It almost hurt to watch. It was like, God, like we're just like curb stomping them.
I was studying it like every time I went back to the game, it was just like, oh, they're down by 5 more points, and then 5 more, and then 5 more, and then by the end of the third quarter, it's like a 70-point game.
Well, and we make fun of the Suns, who we'll make fun of later for losing by 30, and they did it last year.
We already did them, I think.
I think we did. Am I forgetting Friday's pod just completely?
We did a Friday one, yeah. That game was Thursday night. We buried them.
We did bury him. Cool. And I thought so because I thought I already mentioned like maybe they're trading for Kyrie or whatever.
Did the Aiton?
Yeah, the Aiton.
Guangdong.
Yes. And we make fun of them. We make fun of every year when someone gets blown out, the Mavericks, the whatever. And here they are, just ready in line. It's our turn. It's our turn to get blown out and show how embarrassing we are yet again. And it's their turn every other year. I was like, a bunch of Sixers fans were texting me before game 6, before this game, like, hey, good luck, ready to go. And I was like, I just texted back and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I hope we blow you out by 100. So there's no camaraderie.
I don't know if I've ever wished somebody good luck.
That's what I was thinking. Like, no way.
For
a do or die game. Yeah. No.
That's
no chance.
That's pretty ridiculous.
But I got to give him credit. He's trying to be a nice guy. And afterwards, it was brutal. Like, the guy was like, I don't know what to do as a basketball fan. Like, how am I supposed to?
Oh yeah, what do you do?
No,
They're all
And
saying, like, on Twitter, it's like, will the Sixers change? And all the fans are just like, oh, well, we'll just change and we won't watch.
no,
Find other
that's
stuff to
cap.
do.
No, that's
You
lies.
can't.
No. And what's gonna happen? So they fired Doc. He's the scapegoat. It looks like there's a
Yeah,
to be fair.
Doc's record is not good. He is notorious for this, and he did it with the Clippers, and now he's doing it again with the Sixers.
But Joel Embiid scored 15, and James Harden scored 9.
I think it's a small slice of the pie.
I agree.
Like, I'm
You
not
can't
going to
blame it
give
all
him the
on Doc.
benefit of the doubt necessarily, but no, it's not like firing Doc will fix everything.
And there are
Just
good
bring
coaches
in
out there.
freaking, like, Phil Jackson.
Yeah, there's Nick Nurse, I think, is a good coach. Monty Williams, who the Suns fired.
Monty Williams just crapped his pants twice in the playoffs too.
That's true. That's true. I don't blame him too much for this year, but last year, I agree. That's on him. And so maybe they get a better coach, but you still have Embiid and Harden who need to show up in a game 7 when your life is on the line. And it maybe some fans want Harden gone. Some fans are like, with a new coach, he'll be locked in. He's ready to go. There's no consensus. And that's how you know when they sign him to his $200 million contract extension that it's going to be a bad contract.
I can't justify keeping him around.
No, and you had the 2 games, and I got to admit, the 2 games were frightening. The 2 games were they're everything I feared as a Celtics fan. Like, oh God, this James Harden.
And that's what made it so much worse.
Yeah. You had it. You had it for the 2 games.
Yep, it was right there.
It was really game 6. That last game was the one they needed to win, and they blew it.
And it was tied with 5 minutes left.
Uh-huh.
Then the air just
At
came
home. At home.
out of the balloon. Yep.
So now the Celtics are facing the Heat. What I feared this whole time. I can't believe it. I really can't believe that we're now facing the Heat. This whole time of you not believing me, no one believing me, the zombie Heat in the play-in. I didn't want to see them.
I don't think I ever said I don't believe you.
But round 1, you're like, oh, come on, the Heat. And now here they are.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
No one could have foreseen that big meltdown either.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right. I didn't think they were getting past the Bucks whatsoever. And they get past the Heat. It seemed like they just took the dog out of the Heat. They overdogged them. That's what it seemed like for me. Especially
Knicks,
say again?
Knicks?
Yeah, sorry, the Knicks. The Heat overdogged the Knicks. Just they took
At least
all
the Knicks put up a fight.
Did you see that tweet?
The Knicks news, yeah.
Yes. And it was the guy retweeted with the banner. Yes, the banner of we put up a fight. They did put up a fight.
I mean, since the guy, it's just they gotta figure some other stuff out. You can't be that upset if you're a Knicks fan. You had a good season.
That's the issue with the Knicks is they win a series and they think we're gonna win the finals. Like they're like, oh, the Bucks lost. Like we have to win. We at least have to go. Yeah, we at least need to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's championship or bust now.
And that was just never this team. And it does.
Of course not.
It stinks to lose to this Heat team that nobody wants to lose to. But they were outcoached. Julius Randle looked like a pumpkin the whole time, and RJ Barrett was inconsistent. So you get another year of RJ. He grows a little bit more. You have the guy in Brunson. You have the All-Star. Now you just got to get rid of Julius and try to find an upgrade there somewhere. And I don't know what it would be, but he's the main culprit that needs to go.
Stephen A. Smith implores Knicks to trade Julius Randle. Quote, I am done with this man.
Did you see his quote right after their game?
That. What he said.
Their quote, I want Damian Lillard. I want just immediately.
Remember when he had a meltdown because they didn't get the #1 pick in the Zion draft?
Yes.
And they had like the 5th best odds.
Yes, I do remember that. Well, that was the year they thought they were getting Zion, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. They're ready to go. They're just so delusional. And
They're delusional. And you got RJ that year. Like, arguably, he's been better than Zion. in terms of when he's on the floor.
Hey, at least he's not flashing a
He's on the
pistol.
floor.
He's not flashing a pistol on
Yeah,
IG
that
Live.
too.
Yeah. So, and he's what? Now he's 22 years old. Gonna be
He was like
23
19
next
when he was
year.
drafted.
Yeah. So you still got more. Like the other thing is with these picks is, oh, you sucked the first 2 years when you're 20 and 21 years old. Oh, you're awful.
Right.
You're never gonna make
Bust.
anything. This is literally his. Oh, it's his second playoffs now, but still inconsistent. He'll grow into it. He'll be better, and he's growing with Brunson. Another offseason with Brunson will help. Just gotta get Julius out of there. I don't know what you get for him
Done with
because
this
I don't know
man.
who you want for Julius, but you gotta get him somewhere.
I mean, he was a big part of his team.
He was, and in the regular season, he was huge. He made what, third team All NBA? I'm pretty sure he did. Let me
see.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, Julius Randle, third team NBA.
Oh.
And he scored 25 a game,
numbers.
10 rebounds. Yeah, he had great numbers. But in the playoffs,
playoffs are just different.
They are. And there's so many players, like as we just talking about, James Harden, Joel Embiid, Rudy Gobert. There's a ton of players who just dip in the playoffs. Just can't produce. And the game gets different. There's more intensity, there's higher level, there's higher stakes. And when the lights get brighter, that's why Jimmy Butler and the Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Because Jimmy Butler's on that team and
loves it.
Yeah, he feeds off the lights. And when the lights get brighter, he gets stronger. Photosynthesizes. And he elevates his team, the rest of his teammates like Strus and Bam Adebayo. Kyle Lowry's been great. Gabe Vincent, all those guys. Caleb Martin. These are bums that he's elevating.
It's insane
that
we're talking about these guys being on the Eastern Conference Finals team.
I know. And what's even crazier to me is take out Tyler Hero because he was injured. Take out Victor Oladipo because he's injured. Take out PJ Tucker because he's off the team. And then you add in Kevin Love and an even healthier Cody Zeller. And that's the same team from last year.
Yep.
Exact same team. So I guess part of it's like where these guys come from, and part of it can just be we should have known the whole time.
Yeah, I mean they did fly under the radar whole season basically.
Oh, and that's the other thing. They just don't care about the regular season. We just got to get that through our heads.
No, they don't give a shit.
No.
And why would you?
No, that makes perfect
Literally,
sense.
why would you? Who cared about the regular season? The Kings.
Yep.
And the Sixers.
Well, as Walker Lewis asked in the comments, what do I bleed? I bleed green. I'm excited.
Stop cutting yourself.
I gotta stop injuring myself. The blood's getting everywhere. I'm really sorry. Are those too much, the tweets, or do I need more? Do I need to just accelerate that somehow?
You've cut your knee like 5 times.
I busted. All right, no. I busted my knee and something happened to my wrist and it started bleeding. But
that one was a bit much.
a little too much on that one.
Maybe stick to like the lower body.
All right, that's fine. I'm gonna have to cut my face to start bleeding green.
A good one.
But anyways.
Your lip too hard.
Oh yeah. I trip, bust my nose a little bit, with a big nosebleed.
Rip your toenail off. That would be a good one.
Oh,
nosebleed would be great.
Toenail. That's getting some OnlyFans, getting some free, some free toes out there. All right. Well, I think. Oh, Walker. The fans are saying more. We need more. So every game day, I've got to find a new body part to break.
Yeah.
And get some blood out there. That shows I bleed green. That being said, do you have any predictions? I'm thinking Celtics. Celtics and I'm gonna go 6. I'm gonna go Celtics in 6.
6?
Yeah.
They win in Miami?
Yeah. They take it in Miami. I'm not scared of Miami, like being in Miami.
Right. Just one of those series where Celtics are so much better in like at every position, basically.
Uh-huh.
Better defensively, offensively. He have an edge in coaching. Then there's just the Butler factor.
That's it.
I
That's
don't
it.
know how to incorporate that factor into my prediction of this series.
The real question, if it goes 7, if it goes Heat victory, whatever, if it goes longer, it is because Tatum turns back into a pumpkin at some point. If Tatum is the heater that he is right now, and he gets Brown involved in a closer game, he gets Horford shooting more points, just a game that's closer and they're not up by 30 by the third quarter, then I think no matter what, the Celtics can take it. But one of these games where it's the fourth quarter and the Tatum can't hit a shot, or it's the first 3 quarters and Tatum can't hit a shot, like Game 6, if that was the Heat, they're taking that game. They're not letting Tatum get hot after 3 quarters of hitting nothing, and they're taking that game. So I'm kind of baking that into my prediction with the 6, where these like 2 of these games in Miami, maybe Game 3 and 4, I'm thinking the Celtics are up by a good amount, maybe 10, 12, and they just kind of lose it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I have to go with the Celtics, I guess.
Well, and what I hate is we're to the point of last year where it's like, and not even last year, because that was just like random predictions of the odds. The Celtics have 84% chance of winning the finals last year against the Warriors.
Oh, the 97% chance.
Yeah, based off
winning the
metrics.
series. Yeah,
And
that was brutal.
that is just shit I don't want Jimmy Butler to see.
I would probably see that.
It's the last person I want him to see is Jimmy Butler seeing that. Like
almost like they did it on purpose.
I know. It's almost like, oh, let's give Jimmy Butler and they covered their bases because they were like, if we give him a 1% chance, it'd seem fishy. Let's give him like a 3. Give him like a 3% chance. And it'll seem perfectly, everyone will buy in.
It looked like we actually ran through all the simulations.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow.
So this is going to be all over the Heat locker room. It's going to be all over the place. And the Celtics need to start out strong. They got a big game tomorrow. They need to show who's boss immediately and take care of business game 1.
I think the Heat are going to win game 1.
That's what I'm scared of. Just like the Sixers last series.
I think coming off a 7-game series and they wrap theirs up in 6, I think that gives them an edge.
And it's almost kind of like last series too, where the Hawks, you finally take care of them in 6. It was longer than expected. And you seem kind of
at least this one, it's not like you didn't really have to try even in game 7.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a slaughter.
That is true. It'll be interesting. So I think the one thing that the Celtics have going for them is they have enough wings to go at Jimmy. It just depends on who can actually stop him, which is the issue. Which
could be no one.
I know, and it could also be like maybe we do stop Jimmy, but Max Strus all of a sudden 25 points.
Just like him and Gabe Vincent just come out of nowhere.
It's the second you doubt them, the second you think they're garbage, here they are pulling up from 3.
Strus still out there, and then bang, bang.
Yep, exactly. Man, this Strus guy's getting killed on defense. Boom, 3 threes in a row. It's ridiculous.
Straps. I mean, at least you don't have to worry about Duncan Robinson. At least
you think he's
that's
done?
a guy he's been toast for a while now.
He was good.
He's getting some minutes.
He was good in the
games playoffs.
He was good in the Knicks game 5, and he was good but they were all pretty bad in that. But he was decent in the Bucks series, which was the issue. The thing is, the Celtics aren't gonna let him. Like, it only hit, like, he's only good if he can hit his 3-pointers, and the Celtics will not let him hit his 3-pointers.
I know, he's a non-factor.
Yeah, I'm not too scared of him. I'm not too scared of Zeller. The only thing I'm scared about is Bam Adebayo's free throw. All of the free throws. Jimmy, Bam Adebayo, and Kyle Lowry. They are just like, besides Harden and Embiid, they're like the merchants. They're the merchants of the league that can go out and get free throws whenever they want. So that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about honestly Kyle Lowry's toughness. We need Marcus
Yeah.
Smart. He needs to be out there. He needs to be in full force like he was in Game 6. Really coaching the team from the sidelines, being that leader, and doing the dirty work that Kyle Lowry does. And then, of course, Jimmy, who could do everything I just named combined. I think, honestly, like, besides maybe LeBron, Anthony Davis, Jokic, anyone, is he better than Tatum? I don't know. He might be.
Scarier.
He might be. He's definitely scarier than Tatum.
Scarier.
I think he's the scariest person left in the playoffs. Like maybe LeBron, like high power LeBron and Anthony Davis.
No. I'm not as scared of LeBron as I would be a Butler at this point.
And
Bam's been good too, dude.
I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me Ben. I don't want to hear it. He has been decent. And it's funny because he was so bad in the play-ins, and we were like, oh, Bam out of beta. At least I was. I was like, classic Bam out of beta. And yeah, now he's been decent in the playoffs. God. All right. Let's move on before I double down and start taking the heat because I'm scared.
Well, can I just close it with like, this is what I said from the start, that you put yourself in this spot where if you end up seeing the Heat, you've admitted this whole time that you're terrified.
I am. I'm absolutely terrified of the Heat. You're right. You have been saying it the whole time, and it's my nightmare scenario. Like this is what I didn't want in round 1. Why do you think I would want it in round 3? This is worse. And I guess
it's so much worse in round 3 than it would have been in round 1.
Oh god, yeah. Because round 1, I wouldn't like. I'd be like, all right, whatever. We'll take care in 6 or 7. It might be a harder series than we imagined. But now it's like this is a trip to the finals, and Jimmy Butler's on the other side.
You've seen him do it twice. Completely emasculated the Bucks.
I do think. Oh god, I don't know. Maybe maybe the Celtics would have emasculated the Bucks. Maybe they just weren't that good of a team, but I don't know. They were great in the regular season. Like I don't know. I'm talking myself. The Heat.
Let's wait for tomorrow night.
Now that you brought it up again, like I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. All day tomorrow, I'm just gonna be like jittery. And
you're gonna wake up in a cold sweat because it's
gonna be Jimmy Butler
actually hitting that 3.
That's what keeps going through my head. And it's like the same, like
and it makes it so much because he's got something to play for.
And they weren't like they weren't good last year, and they were one shot away from beating us in the Eastern Conference Finals. So if they're just 5% better and they hit that shot than they were last year, then they smoke us. It was
one shot.
I know. All right, Celtics in 6. Right. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not all this joke. Let's not get it twisted. Let's move on. We have the West to talk about. The only thing we didn't get was the Lakers, right? Beating the.
Yeah.
Because that was
kind of mentioned.
That was Friday. Yeah, we did talk Nuggets. We talked. So now the Warriors, they lose.
Do a live score update. It's up.
Okay, yeah.
62.
Yep. Nuggets currently.
At this point. Jokic had like 1 billion rebounds in the first half. He had 8 more rebounds in the first half than Embiid had in Game 7. And more points. Put that in there.
That's awesome. That's all right. Before we move on, and I guess this is talking Nuggets, is I'm glad that's finally people have realized, like even the people who voted for Joel Embiid MVP, it's just like, all right, well, we kind of fucked up.
I was the Jokic whole time I was on Team Embiid too.
Well, and he had a better regular season. Jokic, to be fair,
yeah, I still think it was the right call.
Yeah,
but if you're debating like who's the better player,
it's not even close.
I don't think there's any discussion. Like no one can defend Embiid right now. We didn't even talk about the quote that he had after the game either.
All right, we want to backtrack. I'm for it.
No, it's okay.
No. Let's talk about it for a second. So he says it's a big full quote, and he says at the beginning, like, I need to get better, the team needs to get better. But then he does mention in his big long quote about how everybody needs to get better, that himself and James Harden can't do it on their own. It's 5-on-5. You stinked. You stunk. You stunk the whole game. How could you say that after a game? I don't.
It was shocking, and you're right. Like I saw the initial clip, I was like, there's gotta be more to this, right? And there is.
Doesn't make
It
it any
doesn't
better.
really change what he meant.
No.
He said it. Context didn't really change the meaning of what he said either.
No. It was bad.
It doesn't make any sense. And to bring Harden into it too, who was even worse.
Oh, I'd be like, yeah.
Shocking.
I'd be like, me and Max.
If it was Maxey, I'd be like, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your problem?
That's the other thing. Everyone
I want out.
Oh, keep Harden. Try to give him a bigger role. If I was Maxey, I'd be like, well, screw all of you guys. Screw all the Sixers fans.
Yeah,
screw Joel Embiid. Yeah, let me demand a trade.
No, the Sixer fans love Maxey.
Yeah, it's true. They don't want to trade him for anything, which is fair. I like Maxey too. I thought he should have gotten more touches. He was great in Game 5, Game 4. But, whatever. All right, let's go to the Nuggets. Let's stop going back on the...
Buried him already.
Yeah. Or I guess we're on the Lakers because we already talked about the Nuggets. The Lakers beating Golden State. What's next for Golden State, Chris? Who's leaving?
I don't know how surfaceable Clay is going to be this year. This was the first year where it was not the same Klay Thompson at all.
No.
It was like last year he wasn't prime Clay, but he was still really, really good.
And he just came back off.
He was
off injury. He was ready to go. Like he seemed like he was electrifying the team. This year, not the same. Not the same Clay.
Yeah. It's so funny too because like you pull up his numbers and he was great in the regular season.
Oh yeah, he had like a 2-month stretch where he couldn't
stories.
Miss.
Yeah, I mean he was 2 of 12 from 3 in Game 6.
Game 6 Clay.
Not great.
You want to apologize?
We got a little
to Game 6 Clay.
I mean, like
you got me on board. To be
fair. I remember watching that game against the Thunder that year and not miss a shot.
Yeah, that wasn't the same. Wasn't the same guy.
No, he was horrendous.
So he needs a contract extension.
I will wear that one.
He needs a contract extension. Draymond needs a contract extension. Or Draymond's gonna be free agent. I don't know about Clay. I think he might be too. But either way, they need to pay him. If you're the Warriors, like how the hell are you gonna pay these guys max money? You don't have the budget for it.
Clay could not possibly get a max contract.
No. Neither could Draymond. Neither one of those clowns should get it. Draymond, he might as well have given the series to LeBron. Like he didn't do any of his Draymond stuff. LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the other side. Like sure, he was chirping at what? Dennis Schroeder, Rui. He wasn't chirping at anyone that mattered. Anyone that was really important. So, I don't know. This was...
Yeah, he seemed irrelevant, which is not normal for him.
And we were talking about Embiid loser quotes. The biggest loser quote of the weekend was Steve Kerr. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Just basically saying we were never good the whole season.
You won. Like, how could you say that when you won the championship last year and you returned the whole team?
And you're facing a 7 seed. Like I guess you get it. You're the 6 seed, whatever. You weren't that good this regular season, but you beat the 3 seed in the Kings, and now you're facing a lower seed, a team that was worse than you.
You were favorites in the season.
Yeah, that was all-time loser quote. All-time loser quote. So, I gotta say, everyone's saying the dynasty's over. It has never seen a dynasty before because you still have Steph Curry. Doesn't matter what the team around him looks like. If you still have Steve Kerr and you still have Steph Curry, and all of a sudden they're contending for a playoffs, whether Clay and Draymond and Gary Payton and Andrew Wiggins are on the team, it doesn't matter. You still got Clay and you still got Steve Kerr. But that being said, they are going to have to go through some interesting changes to see what, like Jordan Poole, mess all postseason. He was terrible this offseason. Kuminga, they couldn't even play. They benched him.
Bucket.
The cum bucket. Yeah. They already got rid of our wise guy. He's in Detroit, just waiting for his role to start up again. And Moses Moody was decent. Great. He could play in the playoffs a little bit. That's 3 of your lottery picks. Those are the only years that you were bad the whole dynasty. And you got these lottery picks. And you got not even a valuable role player out of them. That's going to cost you. That's going to cost you Draymond or Clay or, Wiggins, one of these guys.
Hey, for as bad as Poole was, let's not end his career.
That's the other
one playoff.
All right, and that's all I got to say is too, if I'm a younger team and everyone's talking about mock trading Jordan Poole to you and you're giving back some assets, you take on his big contract, I'm for it. I think you get him away from Draymond, who literally punched him in the face. And he's one of those guys who is an irrational confidence guy, but in this playoffs had 0 confidence because Draymond punched him in the face. So when you have 0 confidence and you're a confident shooter, you're not going to make anything. So you get him on a team where he doesn't have to be the number 1 guy. He can be like he was earlier in last year's finals and last year's playoffs, where he's just a guy off the bench that comes in and gets you some electric points. Or maybe he starts. I feel like he can start for some teams. Like, I don't know. Would you hate him on the Wizards?
No, of course not.
He's like a younger
for Beal straight
That's
up.
what I'm saying. He's like a younger Bradley Beal. So
Beal for rocks though, honestly. The money gone.
20 cents on the dollar.
He talking about a loser. He's a loser.
Beal. He needs to go to the Sixers. Him and Bede.
Yes. Did you see I saw a freaking Photoshop of it.
Oh, hey, that's been
going
on
Sixers
for years.
It was like Bradley Beal. I was like, no.
Perfect.
That's not what you need. Perfect. I can promise you that.
Oh, man.
I would promise you.
Yeah, I agree. Let's not bury Jordan Poole. I 100% agree. But I do think he needs to off the Warriors.
For it because I shit on him too.
Yeah, well, because it was funny to talk about because he was such a, show-it-all guy. So it was funny to make fun of him. But now everyone's taking it too far. Where it's like he'll never be a valuable asset again. It's like that's just not true. He's 23 years old.
Yeah, let's give it a rest.
And won a finals and was a great player in that finals. Yeah. All right.
Steph was also bad the last few games.
Yeah, he wasn't great. He did his best in.
No one's burying Steph.
He did his best in Game 7, but he also Game 6, but also shot it.
It was 4 of 14 from 3,
and then 3 of 11, and then 3 of 14.
Yeah, those are not.
Those aren't winning numbers. So now we have the Nuggets versus the Lakers. We can do our predictions from now, from the end of the. I'm guessing, third quarter, 5 minutes left. They're up 92-72, or 90-72 Nuggets. So let's just say Nuggets take game 1 at home. The Nuggets haven't lost at home in the playoffs yet. Do you think
that's true?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I think about it.
Not at home. Unless was that one? No, the Timberwolves game was at home. The one that they lost. Yeah. So, haven't lost a game at home. They have been the best team in the West all season. And my favorite thing is that Bleacher Report, I'm surprised this wasn't on SportsCenter, even though I don't follow them anymore, just because they post stupid things like this.
Bite.
They decide to post, wow, LeBron and the Lakers are underdogs to the Denver Nuggets. It's almost like one team is the 1 seed in the West, and it's been the best 1 seed, or the best West team all year, the best Jokic team he's ever had. And because
it's the first time Lakers are in the playoffs in 4 years.
Yeah, and they're the underdogs. They're the 7 seed, pal. I understand they made it to the Western Conference Finals, But now all of a sudden, the team that was supposed to make it to the Western Conference Finals because they're the 1 seed is they're not going to be
It would be like
favored.
if they posted and they're like, Mickey and Heat are underdogs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you scared? Like, Nuggets are better than the Lakers all around, but you're
Mhm.
scared of LeBron, right?
Yeah.
They're ridiculous.
So what I'm looking at this game, since we haven't been able to watch it, it looks like it's a lot of LeBron, it's a lot of Anthony Davis, and
Jokic already has a triple double.
there's that's incredible.
Like,
He's insane.
it's ridiculous. I was watching Jokic passing highlights the other day.
Oh,
It's wild.
It's the first person. It seems like since, I mean, no one in it seems like since Magic who has passing highlights where his passes are so ridiculous. And I guess
I mean, Chris Paul.
Luka has some crazy ones too recently.
No one that looks like Jokic.
Yeah.
He's the biggest passer in history.
He really is nuts. And it's people talk about, efficiency. He doesn't play defense as well. When this guy is going off, he controls the game.
Yes.
Absolutely controls it. And so
there's probably not a player in the league that makes everybody else better the way that he does.
Oh, if you're Aaron Gordon or Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, you must love playing with Jokic. Like this guy
and Murray, like these guys would not be stars if they were not in Denver.
Oh, I completely agree. That's why like a guy like Bruce Brown comes in and he's great. And he was good for the Nets, but
he had a really good game 6, right? Series.
So. Yeah. Yeah, he had 25. And
Suns would have killed for a guy.
Exactly. So this team is all around the best that's left in the playoffs, besides the Celtics, possibly. Possibly. I had to throw it out there, the number 1 and number 2 seed. But so now you're going up against LeBron. You need a big game from Russell. You need a big game from Schroeder, Rui Hachimura, Lonnie. One of these guys need to step up in the series. And they've gotten it all playoffs long. I don't think it's not like this game 1 is a must win, and they're still down by 20.
The first 2 aren't must wins.
No,
be down 0-2 and you're sitting fine.
Yeah, the series, as we've said on this pod many times, the series doesn't start until the home team loses. So you just got to take care of business at home. You do need to steal one in Denver, which will be hard at some point. But
tries. If everything goes to plan, you got 4 tries.
Exactly. And they're going to figure out. I like what Darvin Ham's been doing. I feel like throughout the playoffs, he's been able to match up guys right, know when to sub in the right guys. So maybe we see some more Vanderbilt this series. Maybe we see some
tonight.
No, not tonight. But I'm talking about after game 1. Maybe we see some adjustments. Maybe we see some Troy Brown. So maybe Mo Bamba out there. They haven't really used him at all. Malik Beasley maybe is a guy that they could use. Or maybe they still ride with the same guys. But they'll figure it out. They'll get some adjustments. Hopefully get Anthony Davis going. LeBron needs more than the 19 right now to get this.
He's got to be vintage LeBron to win this series.
No, and
Davis has to be great every game.
Yeah. And as we said, one of these games in Denver, LeBron's going to have to be vintage LeBron. That's it. You need one. And if they can force it to game 7, I just will LeBron's trust will always be in my hands over any other team that's done it. Like no other team in this playoffs has put in the trust as LeBron James has. So we'll have to see. It's going to be an interesting series. Maybe, hey, we've seen a lot of runs happen, a lot of upsets happen in this playoffs. Maybe they can take this game 1 still, possibly. But not looking hot right now. Down 18.
It wasn't really good at all.
All right. Is there anything else we need to talk about? I mean, Monty Williams, we talked about a little bit.
I talked about
Doc.
Another firing. I guess Budenholzer, we talked about that.
just brutal job out there. If you're an NBA coach,
It's tough.
absolutely brutal job. And I know Joe Mazzulla's been doing well. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. But if they blow this, can we get like Monty Williams or Nick Nurse? Can we get Nick Nurse or something? Like, I'd take Nick Nurse. I think he'd be awesome as a head coach. There's a lot and if you think about Ime Udoka right now, do you think he's just like kicking himself?
He's sitting at the lottery tonight.
Do you think he's just kicking himself? Like, why the hell did I pick Houston?
Probably.
Like, he could have
Why
got.
the hell did I have?
He could have gotten the
It's
Sixers,
fair.
the Bucks, or the Suns job, and he
Yeah.
chose Houston.
Maybe he wants the challenge.
Oh yeah, what is he? Me and 2K? Oh, I need the challenge. I need the challenge. And think about it. If you're him, and you think the Celtics probably screwed you. Like if you're him, I got fired for this dumb reason. The Celtics screwed me. You could pick the Sixers or the Bucks and like tried to whoop us every year.
That's
I
true.
would have been petrified if he went to the Bucks. Absolutely petrified. I would have been like, God, they're winning the championship the next 5 years. So thank God he's in Houston. Honestly,
Yeah, that's as far away from you as possible.
yeah, it's exactly what I need. So rounding out this episode, I don't have any college corner. We still sell.
We kind of hit mine earlier.
The finals.
Exams.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Gamecocks still can't get a
Actually, we
goddamn
got some
running back.
transfer today.
Football or basketball?
In basketball, he's like 6'11".
Damn.
80 Dreyor from. I log back into my site. Give me 1 second. Not about this until now. I saw the alert.
While you're looking, I just gotta say I was looking at, the lottery's coming up today. Had me thinking about GG, and I was looking at the rest of my team. DJ Mack, Stroot, a bunch of guys that came in, a nice point guard to help him out. I was just thinking, if he just stayed another year, he could be a top 5 pick next year. Like this guy could have, and he could have taken my lonely Cox team to the tournament for the first time in a while, which still possible this year. I think we're a dark horse to make the tournament, but if he was here another year, he's 18, he's growing into his body, he's gonna be 19 by the end of next year. We could have been something special, but sadly, he's going to the draft.
Hey, this guy's basically Wemby.
Oh, okay, word.
He's 6'11" from France and is usually athletic for his size.
What's his name?
So, 80 Traore or Traore maybe.
New Mexico State?
Right, yeah.
Oh, sick.
So
that's awesome.
I say he needs 1 year to sit on the bench, and then he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
There was a guy. I got to look at the schedule that we played. There was one of these teams. It was an out of conference team, and they had this massive guy. Oh, come on, where is it? And it reminds me of this kid, where he didn't look very good, but when he was out
he didn't
there,
do anything last year at Mexico State.
He was just tall and just killed everyone.
I don't know what the plan is here, but Willard must like him. He must have been like wanting to get this kid for a while because they just had a guard transfer out. Immediately, they brought this guy in.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Western Kentucky. Let me look at this guy. Come on. This is terrible podcasting, and it doesn't even matter that much because this guy's not even like him. But I just wanted to see.
It doesn't matter at all. Their guys, it probably will make 0 impact.
Yeah, but I just wanted to see this guy's height. Shit. All right, whatever. Terrible podcasting, but
yeah, we lost in lacrosse.
Yeah, I saw. I did see that. Delaware lost too. I was watching them against Duke.
Oh. I'm not gonna act like I've lacrosse or watched a single game.
Hey, you had the natty last year, so you're good.
That's right.
You got a natty. Yeah.
Winners fly forever.
That's all that matters. Who'd you guys lose to?
Army.
Oh, you did? I do. All right, I do remember that game because my dad was watching it. Damn, sucks.
Embarrassing.
They're playing in Annapolis this weekend. Naval Academy.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. I got my.
Maryland would have played there. Damn.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well,
All
I
right.
say that as if like I don't get to see them locally.
or like you go anyways.
Right. As if I would get up and be like, oh, the Maryland's playing close to me now.
Time to drive home. Time to drive home. I gotta go. I gotta go home to drive to watch Annapolis, Maryland playing Annapolis.
I think we got Big Ten tournament for baseball this weekend.
Already?
Well, I think so.
I guess it makes sense.
May 23rd and 28th. When's the 23rd?
23rd.
Oh wait, never mind. No, we have an away series this weekend.
When is the? I wonder when the SEC tournament.
Last home series was this weekend. Which we won again.
We fell hard. We were on six. We went 6. We lost the series to Arkansas. We lost to North Florida. Lost the series to Kentucky. We got swept by Kentucky. And now we're at 13.
We're at 20, I think.
Huge weekend in Columbia against Tennessee. They're playing Charlotte right now. So I wonder if hopefully they beat them. And Tennessee's coming up. That's like a must win to try to make it into the
Must win.
I think so. Didn't you say what's the top
16 host regionals.
Okay, 16. So I guess you'll
make the tournament regardless, but then not you get home games.
No, we need those home games. Play way better at home. And then I guess SEC tournament starts the 23rd, just like you. I'm gonna get
Penn State this weekend.
I'm gonna get locked in. This Tennessee series I'm gonna lock myself in.
Watch.
Yeah, I think so. Watch from home. Not all 3, but I'll at least watch 2 of the games.
These Maryland games are on TV too this weekend.
The SEC tournament. All right, is that all we got? No NFL, right? Yeah, I mean we an hour 14.
Not that I can think of.
No, I can't think of any. All right. Well, thank you.
There was before we go. There was like a report today from ESPN about Josh Harris and Dan Snyder. Said Harris believes removal of Dan Snyder will provide significant boost to Commanders.
Nice.
They did like all these projections and basically said that like everything is going to get better. So it was like
that's so like exactly what you want to hear.
To my ear.
Yeah. That's exactly
this is like the business people saying it.
Uh-huh.
So, wait, what is this? Billy Baysox troll Dan Snyder?
Oh, if the Bay Sox are getting in, then that's brutal.
They will give anyone named Josh or Harris a free ticket.
Oh, that's sick.
Anyone wearing a Magic Johnson jersey gets a free ticket. It's over, the team said on Twitter. Come celebrate a long-awaited ownership change with us Thursday.
That's so sick.
Funny. Love that.
All right, before we go, Lakers down by 14. So not inconceivable.
Inching back.
Yeah. So, thank you all for listening. We'll see everybody on Friday. Hope you enjoy your week. Chris, good luck on your final. And
thank you.
See everyone when you're done with school, Chris. We'll see everyone when you're done with school.
Yeah, I'll be back home soon.
Perfect.
Soon.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening. See you guys Tuesday or Friday.